Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco number 7246 SC2-26D. This is a rim cylinder, is what this is. I have one removed from the box. And let's go over what it is. The 7246 is going to mean a couple of things. It will mean that it's 1.5 inches length. And mortise cylinders like this are measured from the underside of the head to the back of the cam. It also infers that we're going to get the additional information regarding the keys. 7246, well, with the SC2, all that's going to give you a Schlage C keyway with a 6-pin drilled cylinder, meaning that the housing and the plug are drilled for a 6-pin key. That the included cut keys are also 6-pin, and that also you're going to get an Adams Right cam on the back of it. Okay, that's important to know. Drilled 6-pin, pinned 6 with a 6-pin key blank. You can get in other lengths or on special order a 5-pin drilled only with a 5-pin key. You can get a 6-pin drilled cylinder with a 5-pin key, and it's only pinned 5 naturally, or a 6 and a 6-pin, and then you can get some other stuff outside of that, but it's generally limited to, you wouldn't get a Schlage C keyway in a 7-pin because one doesn't exist. But how it applies to this is that it's 6-pin drilled and 6-pin keyed and pinned as well. The cam, that is a Adams Right style. The 26D is a reference to the finish. And naturally, this will be available in several different types of finishes. So, where would you use 1.5 inch length cylinder? Well, generally, never standard, never on a typical sort of installation. It's simply too long for most installations. Where you're going to bump into 1.5 inch standard cylinder, 1.5 inch length cylinder, with a standard cam, not with an Adams Right cam, will certainly be on an older mortise lock, maybe a mortise lock that exists from the 1920s or 30s, or a very old mortise lock on an abnormally thick wood door, like a 2¼ inch thick wood door. That's common. With an Adams Right cam, that's a little bit unusual, that sort of configuration. You might have a custom thick wood door, and you have some type of Adams Right hardware, like a cylinder-operated flush bolt, and because of the unusual thickness of the door, you simply need a longer style cylinder. There could be some unknown hardware that I can't think of that requires a much longer cylinder length, but suffice it to say, Kaba Ilco can provide it. Available in all of the common finishes. Kaba Ilco can provide their mortise cylinders in all the common finishes, cam combinations, lengths, obviously keyways, and the material is incredibly high quality, and when you initially begin to operate the cylinder, you can tell that the operation is incredibly smooth, and that's because it's all solid brass. The housing, the cylinder plug, made of solid brass, which allows them incredibly tight machining tolerances, and it gives you that sort of very smooth operation. If you're someone who has pinned these locks, or a locksmith, or a building engineer, and you have maintained, rekeyed these sorts of cylinders, you know that if your pinning is just 0.03 of an inch off, the cylinder doesn't work correctly, and that's because of that extremely tight machining tolerances. The benefit to that, the net benefit for the client, is that you get extremely smooth operation through the lifespan of the cylinder, and because it's brass componentry, you can continue to maintain it. You want to rekey the cylinder? Over time, surely everything wears down, but brass is far more durable than a zinc sort of product. So the material, when you're buying it from Kaba Ilco as a cylinder, whether it's a mortise cylinder, a rim cylinder, key and knob, lever, deadbolt type of cylinder, their deadbolt series material is incredibly high quality, and I'm quite partial to them because of that. High quality material, very reasonable price, and incredibly vast array of options that I had mentioned earlier. You can review the full line catalog from the link below this video to the manufacturer's page. There's dozens of keyways, lots of finishes, lengths, cam style combinations, etc. There's also a link to the full line Kaba Ilco key blank catalog, and that's very handy if you have more than an occasional need to identify a key blank. You'd be able to do so there. It's a very handy sort of resource to have available to you. Then finally, there's a link to the relatively new line of storefront aluminum storefront hardware that Kaba Ilco has as well. Any questions on the Kaba Ilco 7246 SC2 in a 26D finish, 1.5-inch mortise cylinder, or any other Kaba Ilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.